never hurts. I see the little red dot. I'll see.
Well, it actually, if you put on recording, it does disable some. So it notably disables being able to minimize zoom, which actually is not a minor inconvenience, but that's what it does.
There must be some reason that they needed the window up.
It's just the way the software designer designed it. You know, it's
It might be that they're recording the stream going to your display, something like that. And so when that stream gets cut off by minimizing, that would make it hard. I don't know, I'm guessing. Anyway, I'm gonna go have 2 more cookies and start my text.
right.
Have fun, you guys.
See you later. Yep.
Bye.
Does anybody know if the Wi-Fi is on at the church?
I don't know if it's on, but I have found before that it's quite marginal outside the building.
Yeah. It was just a thought.
That's a thought. Yeah, I believe that all the major cell carriers are have sufficient strength to do streaming video, but I will be proven correct or not within minutes, I guess. Well, I like to sign Steve.
Do we have a live feed from the parking lot yet?
We do not have a live feed from the parking lot unless that's where Mark is.
No.
And
no.
And so it appears that the camera on the on Donna's iMac is reversing everything. Is that, so you're seeing everything in the reverse?
Depends what you have the. Well, I don't know about the iMac, but on a phone, the selfie camera will reverse and the forward camera does not.
Yeah, I've noticed that your image is reversed, but when anybody else sees you, it's correct.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
in my
your
picture,
sign is fine, Steve.
in my picture, this is backwards.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you can read it perfectly clear from there.
Okay. All right. I'll take it down then.
Yeah. But your SEVA sign was correctly presented.
Well, that's why Ed and I were able to read your T-shirt and muse over which band was the likely culprit. Yeah.
Well, hi, Belly. How are you tonight?
Well, all full of it. How are you?
Well, Donna got another procedure yesterday, and the big procedure for right here is coming up on June 1. So we'll report back on that.
Okay, so you are getting work?
No, Donna, my intended love.
Well, I've met Donna, yeah.
And tonight is we're celebrating my daughter's 39th birthday, and they're still outside there right now. And so I should probably buzz back there. What time is it getting to be?
It is 7:01, and still awaiting people to come in from the church. And I assume that Chris, who claims to be of royalty, is not at the church, or are you, Chris?
Well, I'll step back by. Oh, there you are, Chris. Hi, Chris.
This is actually Charlie. I'll change my name. For some reason.
Oh, sorry, Charlie. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my wife's name, but
no, I'm sorry. Sorry, my slip up there. Yeah.
No problem.
I would easily believe the royalty part, but just kind of mouth kind of ran off there a bit. Sorry.
Well, she kept her last name for obvious reasons.
So her last name really is royalty. Well, I guess it's obvious. Who would want to give up a name like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fact, there we go. Okay, I've corrected the whole situation. Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Maybe she's done with that too. Why don't you go down and see, Steve? Go down and see if there's that.
Well, is Jeff Finn at the church? I really can't tell with your virtual backgrounds. I'm going to assume not, because I don't think phones usually can do virtual backgrounds.
I'm on mute.
You got a new drawing for your car, your older car.
Sorry, Mark?
Jeff has the original Volt Runner caricaturized.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that was done by the Seattle Times, Seattle Sketcher, for Drive Electric, National Drive Electric Day, I think 2013, to promote the event out. It was held at the Seattle Center. So, and I got a copy, signed copy from the sketcher. He's quite a talented guy. Put that together in like 20 minutes.
And they even got you in your green shirt.
There's the actual vehicle.
Well, actually, I'm going to strongly guess it's still a virtual background. The actual vehicle being not over your shoulder.
It's pull anything over Europe. We're planning an EV road trip to go see it.
The audio is not very good quality there, Jeff. I'm sorry, where are you taking the road trip to?
Well, we're taking an EV road trip to go see it.
To go see, I'm sorry, I'm really not catching what it is you're saying.
Kingman, Arizona.
To go
Okay.
see the car.
Yeah.
It's in Kingman, Arizona, at the Historic Electric Vehicle Foundation's EV Route 66 Museum. Because of its connection to Dave Clark.
Hello, old man. I see you there.
Can you hand me those pills? Or the pills? No, just that one. This one. Thank you.
Volt runner, can you hear me?
And Steve, is your daughter a year older now?
Yes, one more year around the sun. 39 years young, Shannon Electra, and I wanted to name my son Ion,
Yeah.
but that was too much, and so we settled on Orion. Do we have any connection with the parking lot yet?
Nobody has come in from the parking lot. Unless Mark Ormack has, I've never quite heard much from him.
Yeah, you're no, I'm here at home. Philip Skoog is supposed to be down there.
Phil was to be there. Jay was going to be there.
Yeah.
So from the email, my understanding was they were going to be outside, but the church would just be open for the restrooms. I don't think they were actually going to go inside for the meeting.
That's where we left it. Yeah. I guess it sounds like Phil had the key. Although I know really only that Jay has it.
Well, actually, the latest word on the key is there is no longer a key. They have a passcode to get in. So that makes it a lot more convenient.
Well, if you have the passcode, I guess I'll have to speak to Jay about that.
So, kind of a general thing, if you can stay on mute all the time, and if you use your space bar, then you can talk, so you don't hear all the background noise.
Yeah, this space bar is a good feature, although I find that it doesn't work very reliably.
Ah, okay.
That's a good piece of info.
I think if you hold,
Yeah, you have to hold the space bar to talk. That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, it's not proven reliable for me for the last year. So it works a good bit of time and doesn't work a good bit of time.
this is Ed. I was just trying it, and the way it messed up for me is if you have multiple windows open on your desktop and the focus is not on Zoom, then it doesn't work. It's on Zoom.
That's generally not been the issue for me.
Okay, that's what just messed me up a moment ago.
Any more info on the Chevy Bolt that caught on fire a few days ago? Burned somebody's house down? I've got the open recall on mine to fix the battery problem. I understand that it's going to be ready in June for us to go in and get the final fix. I guess you can't have a popular electric car these days without having a couple of them burn up. Tesla's had quite a few fires. They don't even make the news anymore.
I know, what constitutes quite a few?
More than one?
Well, how many gasoline car fires are there per day in the country? And frankly, I don't know the answer, but I think it's more than one.
Actually, quite a few.
Yeah.
So this would be the 6th bolt that's gone up in flames. I'm sure that more than those of. Hey, they had pictures of Teslas bursting into flames in a garage. Fortunately, it was a concrete garage, but
yeah. All right. Meanwhile, I think we do have a feed from the church, and it looks like we have quite a few people out there.
there you
Now,
go.
for your edification, there's over 700 car fires a day in the U.S., and those are only the ones that have police or fire department reports done on them.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
A fire that a shade tree mechanic starts in his driveway and puts out with his garden hose never gets reported.
Yeah.
We used to have a Subaru that caught on fire and when I came home, it was a burnt Hulk sitting there.
One less gas car. Hey, look, there you go.
So it looks like the parking lot has joined us, but they're on mute.
Yeah. Whoever's phone that Jay, is that your phone? Please take it off of mute.
Mute.
Oh, there you go.
Greetings. No, I am borrowing a phone from this nice fast lady here. Extra points if you can identify her.
She was totally in silhouette because the camera was facing into the sun.
Let's get a better angle on the sun. Hello, thank you, Andrea. All right, we have an intrepid 11 or so Sevites here in the parking lot assembled with just as many vehicles, and we're catching up with each other very much. So hello to you people online. Sorry if we neglect you much. It's just, since the legislative session is over and we don't have any pressing car show business or other things, was just hoping we could do some in-person networking and catch up today.
I would say about car shows, Greenwood is still supposed to be doing their drive-through, I guess, on Greenwood Day.
Yeah.
And I registered for it individually, and I don't know there's any going to be any additional club presence for that.
Anybody else participated in one of those yet?
No, I'm not talking about the monthly things. I'm talking about the what they're going to have on the last Saturday of June.
Okay, I have not studied that.
I went on one of the earlier ones.
Please repeat.
I said I went on an earlier one that ended up down at Seattle College. I'm not sure who put that one on, but I went to it.
Was it a good event, Steve?
It was pretty good. A lot of people looked at us. They're all standing in line to get in when we went past coffee shops and stuff.
Okay, Steve, you're not talking about the event that SEVA did several months ago. That ended up at South Seattle.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, that's not the Greenwood Car Show event. Yeah, that's something that we organized ourselves.
Yeah, no, this is a different one, right?
Yeah, the Greenwood Car Show is doing monthly drives on the I think 4th Saturday of each month.
Hang out, bullshit.
With one of them on the day of the Greenwood Car Show, right?
Well, the June monthly one will become the annual one. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
What do you? Yes. Pardon?
Flip and look at other people.
Oh. Should be able to. You guys,
right.
I don't know how to do it here.
Hey Steve, you got to unmute yourself.
Oh, I love your bicycles.
You got to unmute.
Want to get on?
You show his mute here.
Yeah, but you can use the space bar to talk. you could do that too. That works out really nice because we're hearing some clicking in the background.
Yeah,
Hey,
sorry, Jay,
hey,
if you
guys.
can review, how many cars are in the parking lot?
Oh, I'm on the.
How many cars in the parking lot, guys? 11.
Whoa!
Hey, it's 11 more than we've had in over a year.
I switched it, but it didn't stay. Sorry, man. Let me try one more time.
A meeting in the parking lot by the old church.
Yeah, you said they were gonna do that.
And our guy Jay has interfaced with the Zoom, so he can show the people in the parking lot.
I'm gonna go call Christy.
Yes, I hear you, Steve. And hello from to Chicago, John. But I'm going to just let these gatherings run in parallel because, of course, you people are very, very small and hard to see and hear here in the parking lot. And we have new blood in the lot. People.
Oh my God!
Curious about EVs. So I'm going to talk to them some. Please excuse me. John, catch up with me soon on a drive, please. Back to Andrea.
I don't have anything to say. There is no agenda, he said.
What kind of cars are in the lot?
We have
11.
Tesla, 1, 2, 3. I see 3 Model 3s. Some Scion. Is that electrified? Someone did a Scion conversion. A Kia Soul, a Leaf. That's probably Mark's Leaf. There's a Bolt, and then my new Bolt. That's it. Those are the 11 cars. Oh. Okay. Do you guys want to tell the people in the meeting about your conversion? This is the whole meeting. Hi.
This is everybody.
Another
Okay.
new guy.
I'm Brian. Hi. So,
Hi, I'm Booty. Hey, Brian.
So which way is the camera pointing?
To you. I can't.
Okay.
It's pointed at you.
All right. Well, I don't know how many new people are out there, but for anybody who is new, I'm Brian Hughes. I'm the only weirdo in the club right now who is driving a conversion, at least regularly. So that might be a slight exaggeration. But anyway, so my car here, get the 2004 Scion XB. I converted it in 2013. It's an AC system. So motor, inverter, DC-DC converter. It's actually belt driven. So you can see the belt right here. That's kind of unusual for conversions. Usually people hook the motor straight up to the transmission. So it's been working pretty well. I built it 8 years ago now, just about. It's still going, despite getting hit a couple times. In the back here, I can show you some of the batteries right there. This is the upper battery box. The green box is the charger. That's the front end or the head end of the battery management system. And this is part of the charging interface stuff. Normally it does have a back seat in it, but I took it out because I was working on stuff. I never got around to putting it back in. Anyway, that's really all there is to it. So, I'm getting a question from local person here as to what the gauges are. So mostly it's just normal car cockpit, but I do have this extra gauges here. This is just overall battery voltage. This is overall battery amps. That's just the 12-volt battery. This little screen here is the front end or the display end for the BMS. It's software that I built running off a little computer. So it shows me basically all the statistics of the battery. Functions as my my fuel gauge and battery health gauge and some other things.
You might want to know about the battery. How many batteries?
So, and I'm also being told I should describe the battery. It's nominally 32 kilowatt hour, which for when I built it exceeded what the Nissan Leaf was But obviously these days, Teslas and just about everything else have a much bigger battery than that. So I'll hand off back to
Andrea.
Andrea. Thank you.
All right. I don't know if any other conversations are interesting to you guys. And he said there's no agenda, so sorry about that. What's that? He has an
I
idea.
have an idea. If you want to come up with some questions, go back into some of the prior minutes that Billy did and see if the questions that were brought up during those things have been satisfying to you. Maybe.
Oh, I don't know. I don't have any energy.
No, the people in
Oh, if you guys are reading, you can ask each other, like, see if anything's been solved. I do, Jeff Finn, I do have a question for you. I'm gonna follow up in an email though. For the credit union, but I'll follow up with you about that. All right. It's kind of a mixed group, guys. They're just all talking to each other. I don't know. Does anybody want to talk to the meeting? You guys want to talk to the meeting? Do you have any question for the people in the meeting?
Not yet. Didn't know it. Are we supposed to have a question?
Or talk to them, I don't know.
Good evening, everybody. Hello.
Like, this is gonna be a short meeting tonight.
That's
Do you have anything to say to them?
Yes, it's
Wish you were here.
It's short.
Yeah.
We are just having some fun getting reacquainted, missing those who are not present.
Yeah.
We are seeing the text messages much more easily than we can hear you or read your lips. So please send those messages in the chat box. And but we are a club in need of a mission a little bit much. We haven't gotten a whole bunch of uptake on the advocacy for bills that were in the legislature. We got real lucky nevertheless. The time seemed to have come for a lot of the bills that we supported this time.
People worked hard. Commerce, ecology.
Car shows are not kicking off yet this summer, and we have money in the bank. And a freshly minted treasurer just itching to spend it, I'm sure. Hey, Charlie. And so we need some projects, and of course volunteers to head up such efforts. But my apologies for radio silence. I'm working at least 13 hours a day, and just super busy for non-work stuff.
Got it. He's out. All right. So people wrote questions. All right. I'm already late. Don't know who. Oh, the weather's nice. It's probably only about 62 maybe. Yeah, it's not hot, it's not cold, it's perfect. That's it. Those are all the questions. If you guys want to see my new
I'm about 2 miles away in a straight line, and it's 64 degrees where I am.
It's 64. Okay. Well, it's colder here. I don't know. I'm just kidding. So okay. All right. I think that's pretty much it, you guys, unless you have any questions. They did. They took a tour. He talked him through it. So if you guys have any other cars you want to show off? Not really. That's mine. Yeah, this is mine. A week. I just took it to the coast this weekend.
Attention, attention. I would like to see a small, slow pan of all the cars that are there. You know,
Okay.
I mean, we don't have time to talk to each one of them, but somebody said there are 11 cars there. I only saw 2 or 3 so far. So if anybody has a really steady hand with their camera, just give us a slow scan of all the cars. Thank you.
And there's 2 cars that I don't even know that are members, but they happen to be electric and they happen to be in the parking lot. So I'm looking at those 2. And then I'm just trying not to get run over by this woman in her Honda.
Your
the
video
camera
isn't
isn't on.
showing though.
It's not showing?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
if you tried to reverse the camera, it's not working.
Oh, sorry. All right, let me try to find the Zoom again. It's being weird. Let's see.
The camera reverse button I think can be fairly easily confused with the camera off button.
I think she may have just disconnected herself.
Yeah, all of those buttons are pretty close together and they all look like each other.
Well, while we're waiting, did anybody watch Saturday Night Live with Elon Musk?
I watched about half of it.
I watched all of it. He did a really excellent job. I was really surprised.
But maybe he can have another career as a comedian, right?
Well, what was interesting, so he's the MC and he goes on in the first minute of his dialogue, he says that he is probably the first person on that stage who has Asperger's syndrome, and or he says the first one to admit to it. And I just thought, wow, that's really present. That's just great.
I'd never seen him actually talking in the way he moves his body and everything. He's got strange, interesting body language.
Well, that's probably part of being on the spectrum, but
could be
having Asperger's. Yeah.
Above my pay grade to know what that is, but
I think the most interesting one was the last one, which is kind of macabre, but about when he stepped up to the microphone for control of the Martian exposition. But of course, several people came back and said, wait a minute, there's a 14 or 17 minute, between Mars and Earth. But anyway, that besides the side, the person that saved the day and then perished. I mean, that was rather interesting.
He perished by taking his helmet off, and the vacuum of the atmosphere made his head explode. That's what happened.
That was the last sketch.
That was like Steve says, that was macabre. Yeah, but and then the whole sketch ended. Yeah, right.
That was probably the best sketch. I like that one. That was really good.
Absolutely, Ryan. I saw that post. Absolutely the best sketch.
I assume the whole thing's still on YouTube, and you can go back and look at it again.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. And then he was on the news show, and he came on as a financial expert. Then he talked about the Deutsche virtual currency, and the people ask him what it is, and he says, well, basically, yeah, it's just basically garbage. And then the real world results is that the Deutsche virtual currency took a huge dip the next day on the market.
Hey, Mark, I don't know what the problem is, but it sounds like you're talking through a pillow, where others are all the high tones and the normal tones of normal speech are just right there. So just a postscript.
Yeah, I am aware of it. I really need to get a new webcam.
Just wanted to mention I've had Dogecoin since 2014. So if anybody has any crypto questions, feel free, but it's a little off topic.
That was actually the first time I even heard the term. So, and you had it since 2014. Wow.
Yeah, I've been playing with that stuff for all the years.
So Tesla buying into Bitcoin, what's your view about that?
Basically, in the whole crypto space, there are hundreds or thousands of different coins. Bitcoin is kind of the global currency of crypto, the anchor that they all trade against and move with for the most part. And it's a reasonable thing to do. Tesla is not the only prominent, respectable, in quotes, company who's doing this. There are others who are exploring the space, mostly just with Bitcoin, I believe, to this point. So not Dogecoin, not Ethereum, not Litecoin, and these other popular ones. But yeah, it's not unreasonable.
Well, thanks for that. There's a whole other world out there. Guyleen, you're not coming through at all.
Turn your microphone on. You're still muted, Eileen.
For those of you who are confused, Dogecoin is like the French franc, and Bitcoin is like the US dollar.
That might be a fair analogy. So Dogecoin is my best definition. It's a fork of Litecoin, which is the silver to Bitcoin's gold in the crypto space. Dogecoin was created as a joke coin, or more precisely, as a meme coin. And a meme is a viral idea. So that's what it is. It's no more or less valid than other cryptocurrencies. Difference between it and Bitcoin is that it's not a finite supply. It does have inflation, but that inflation is mathematically dictated. So it's very predictable, and it derates over time over the next century or two. Whereas Bitcoin has a precise amount of coin. There will never be more, and it will be completely mined within 100 years or so. So that's the technical side.
Well, and that, in addition to the French franc, has been obsolete for about 20 years.
Yes, well, that was merely an example.
Yeah. France
Don't know anything about the franc.
The franc was replaced with the euro.
I see. That makes sense.
It was really good.
Dogecoin is just as valid as any other project. I mean, it's no less legitimate than Bitcoin. It's just a matter of adoption.
All right, it was really good meeting everyone. My name's Guy, by the way. I know it says Guylan. That's my full first name. I'm out in Ellensburg right now. I have another meeting that I got to get to in a minute. So,
well, thanks for coming in. We usually have more to say, but the meeting got split up into two meetings tonight as a rarity.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that I haven't made it to more of the Zoom ones. You said you had 14 of them, but I think this is the first one that I've made it to.
Yeah, well, 14 is counting from April of last year is when we started doing it.
Okay.
Guy, are you associated with Central Washington University?
Yeah, that would be me. I'm the president of that club. We have to come back from obscurity again because of COVID. We basically it's down to two of us right now, or three of us, and then two of us after he graduates. So next year we have to start from scratch recruiting all over again. But that's the nature of college, you know. People graduate and they move on, and Yeah, it's tough recruiting people, but that's what it's going to be. So, all right.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guy. So I guess we're all kind of waiting for see if we have the show from the parking lot. Like all of a sudden just died.
Yeah, I'm not sure if she's gonna join back in.
So I have recently, just the last couple of days, ran across a YouTube channel I wasn't aware of called Aptera Reboot or something like that. And that channel has had, I believe, some Electric Auto Association chapter meetings where they had the president, the owner of Aptera on the meetings, talking in detail about a lot of great stuff about that car. The more I learn about it, the more I love it. It's a really cool project.
I think, you know, being able to have it drive entirely on sunshine, you know, by just parking and not driving much is really something. But you know, the thing about it,
if you can 10x your efficiency, you can 1/10 your battery for the equivalent range. So it's really kind of obvious and brilliant.
well, the thing is, I'm kind of holding my breath on is those hub motors that they have. They have two hub motors in front, and then the high performance one has a hub motor for the rear wheel and back, and that overall design really hasn't been proven yet.
Absolutely. And one of the videos from this YouTube channel, it's Aptera Reboot or Aptera Reboot or something like that. I should look it up. But they had a lot of there's a lot of details on the engineering behind the hub motor and the extreme testing and validation that they're doing with, you know, water submersion, freezing, contaminants, shock testing, and all that kind of stuff. And it looks like it is an impeccable piece of engineering. Super tight tolerances, overbuilt, you know, built to handle, you know, if you can handle your edge cases and, like, you know, doing a hard curb check at whatever speed and stuff like that, then you know that you're good for regular road driving. And I was really impressed with the hub motor from the information from that channel. Up until that point, kind of just took their word for it that, you know, they're building, that they, you know, realize the challenges involved, and we're taking it serious. But this channel had a lot of what felt like inside information from the manufacturer that they partnered with, which also is partnering with the pickup truck that's doing it. Who's the pickup truck doing the hub motors?
GM has the crab walking capability.
Yeah, no, this is different.
No. It's Lordstown Motors, but they're having some major financial problems. They're, you know, Chevrolet Chevrolet bought into them, and then they didn't. And anyway, if they ever, it'll be interesting to see if they actually do produce a pickup truck.
Yeah, the YouTube channel, I confirm, is Aptera Reboot. That's what the channel's called, and they have some really great content, deep dives with people doing, you know, like Aptera itself, and then the company out of Slovakia, somebody is making the hub motor. I don't know where the hub motor's out of, somewhere. I'm not good with geography, so.
Well, some of the
really impressive.
Automotive guys have been doing startups in China on hub motors.
I've been shopping around for some of those to slap on the back end of my Honda Insight, which I recently purchased a second of to go with my destroyed, beat up parts car that I was going to try to run, but turns out my second transmission is on its last leg. So probably paid too much, $6 grand for a 2000 Honda Insight manual, no air conditioning. But it's clean, 75,000 miles, seems to run good. Finally get to use the EVTech lean burn mode in the Insight, which mine doesn't do with its burnt out catalytic converter, and emission sensors won't let it do it. But the new old one does. So I'm trying to find hub motors there, and I found Alibaba has what looks like what you would expect from Chinese, like big bike hub motor, motorcycle hub motors evolved into low-end tiny car motors. They're all 96 volts nominal. They sell packages though that include disc brakes, hydraulic, with parking brake, with a controller, with a standalone heads-up dashboard sort of thing. They're doing a kit that's a double 12 kilowatt for $6 grand-ish. But this would be nothing like the quality of the Aptera. I mean, you can tell by just looking at the things that they're beefy motorcycle scooter motors, you know, built to be a, you know, car bolt-on thing. What I can't figure out is how exactly they connect it, because it looks like it's got a shaft coming out that I'm assuming would be a stationary shaft. And the disc brake is right there on the inside. And it's not exactly clear how it's supposed to mount. And it's Alibaba, so. Yeah, but if I can get a hold of some of the Aptera hub motors, those would probably rock the Honda Insight. It's a similar class, aerodynamic, lightweight, not nearly the aerodynamic that the Aptera has. You know, they got into the aerodynamics and how, you know, it has a similar CD as a pickup truck's windshield wiper blade. Like,
That's
you know,
hilarious.
as good as you can get it. You know, it's a wing, so I mean, it's built to do exactly that. And if you leveled out your airplane wing, it just glides, just on the ground pushing it, right? You want no drag, you build it like that, the teardrop, like they did. It's a beautiful thing.
Speaking of Honda Insights, do we know any more about John Whalen's Silver Streak? Did he ever get it on the road running? Does anybody know?
No. I wish I did. Last time I saw him was a year or two ago at Greenwood, but then I'm not at many events. You've all probably seen him more recently than I.
Well, Transport Evolve, you know, they're building a Honda Insight.
Yes, they got a previous conversion in non-running condition from, I'm not sure who, maybe from Oatmar, or I don't know. Maybe not Oat, I don't know. It was from California, came up from California. They picked it up. That was the beginning of the year-ish.
Yeah.
I don't think they've done any content on working on it, but I think that was their intention. It's a really good channel.
It is a really good channel.
Yeah.
And that motor that they blew up at the Whalen Invitational in 2010, it's reliving. The firm that built the Johnny Cash Rolls-Royce EV, they also bought that motor from John Whalen. So we'll see that in another car sometime.
Huh.
Yeah, that was in 2010. It was the last thing for John Whalen, last invitational, and during testing on Friday night, it was dusk, and he was going for a record time. His driver, I forget his name offhand, but at the very end of the race course, you see this big flash, and that was the end of that motor. So that evening, they changed it over to the motor that he has in it now.
Huh. To wrap up the Aptera thing, the company doing the hub motor, I think, is Elaphe collaboration, Elaphe, ELAPHE. And if I knew how to play the video, we could do that. Here, maybe I'll get a link. I'll try and post a link. I don't see a chat on my phone. Shucks.
If I have the floor for a moment. Hello?
Absolutely.
We're listening, Steve.
I would like to say to Kevin and Grace, happy anniversary. They're up again for the the second time, I think.
Dungeness Point.
Babysitting this lighthouse on the Dungeness Spit and having a wonderful time. And I just think that those folks have done so much for our club, and we should give them a thank you.
Yeah, Grace kept us up to date on all the legislative stuff for many months here.
She did. She'll be back next month, but she's off on celebrating her wedding anniversary right now.
Good for her. So. Is this Ryan from the parking lot? No.
You're on mute, Ryan.
Sorry, that wasn't supposed to be on. Had him flip-flopped.
Well, Charlie and I have been working on the core volt, and the last thing we did was we did a vacuum, a S-glass epoxy layup vacuum bagged of the battery box. So Charlie had the experience of working with that, and this week we're going to do a carbon fiber battery cover to do the rear battery pack. And yeah, that's going to be my biggest part yet. But anyway, it's all fun stuff, and Charlie's a great motivator to get stuff done on the car. So and with his knowledge, it will get done.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to working on that, day after tomorrow, right?
Yeah, Thursday worked out perfect.
Okay.
Well, people, we got to come up with some content. We're not going to have a meeting here. So, yes, say something. Go ahead.
Sorry, there wasn't any agenda tonight.
Well, I guess I could share a little news with my Z3. I've been having some issues with my battery management system, and I just burnt up another board on the car, and still have not figured out what is actually causing it. I have 8 BMS boards in my pack, and the 7th board in the pack consistently burns out after, I don't know, maybe a week or two. I've bugged out all the wires, but haven't found anything that would indicate, why that particular position in the pack is burning up BMS boards.
Are you saying the one that you just replaced within the last month is burned up?
Yeah, just burnt out yesterday.
Oh no, Charlie. Oh no.
I'm not able to send them back and get them repaired fast enough. I have like four spare boards, but it's getting kind of old having to ship them back to Manzanita to have them repaired or just replaced. It's getting kind of old, and I'm kind of running out of ideas as to what to check to try to figure out what's causing the boards to die.
Have you checked ground?
Well, I guess I could check the pack to chassis. There's no indication of any continuity there, but what I have done is on the connector going to the BMS board, I have measured the voltages on every sequential pin, and I don't have any of the cells reversed or in the wrong order in the connector. I've confirmed that multiple times, and the board does work for a while. Everything, when it's plugged in, all the cells are reading properly on the GUI display. It's communicating properly with the both the display and the charger. It's just sporadically every week or two, for whatever reason, the board dies, and typically it's one or two components on the board that have fried.
Static electricity or grounds, that's always the weird ones, right? If you can't track it from anything else, those are the weird ones. Put a new ground to it straight from your source to the board, right?
I'm not sure what you're the boards are not
the logic ground, right? For the BMS, nothing to do with the batteries.
Well, so these are Manzanita micro boards. They have a high voltage side that are basically connected directly to the individual cells. The particular board I have can monitor 12 cells at a time. And then the other connection is through a RJ jack. It's a 6-wire cable that.
Right. It's a dim looking plug.
Yeah, that connects all the boards together. And then on the end, one end then goes off to the Manzanita charger. And the other end goes off to a dongle board that basically goes to a USB port that you can plug into either a laptop or a tablet. And then from the laptop tablet, you have a GUI interface that can show the state of charge of each of the cells. So
are the components you're losing, are they logic components or are they analog?
I should check with Rich Rudman, because there's been a number of boards that have failed. I do think at least one of the boards had burnt out a microcontroller. But also some of the dissipating resistors or dissipation banks had burnt components. I'd have to talk to Rich about exactly what particular components were burning up.
Well, if you can see what's common there. I come from the computer world, right? And if you've got some weird ass problem that you can't figure out, it's usually a ground or static electricity in the logic world. In the analog world, I don't know anything about where the high voltage and the low voltage cross there, but if your components are on the low voltage side, then that tells you a lot, right?
Okay, I could, I might give Rich another call and see if he has any thoughts.
Ground everything. take a ground wire to one ground and make just do a common, remember the old stereo systems on your turntable hummed if you didn't ground to the amp, right? Ground the heck out of everything with your own ground. Don't depend on any grounds inside of your RJ cables or any of that. Put a whole new ground on stuff and just see what happens, right? Can't hurt.
Well,
I've solved a lot of problems that way.
yeah, I just wouldn't know where to attach the ground on the board.
To the case, whatever the ground goes to, right?
No, I mean, the boards are individual printed wiring boards. I don't know where the ground plane is on the board. There is
Oh,
no
really?
like case. I actually had to, build a mount to mount the boards onto, you know,
Well, someplace on that board is a ground plane with all of the logic where all your negative comes from the DC that runs the board. And that thing, you've got that bolted to a stud that's going to a case or going to does it just ground through the cable to the 8-pin?
as far as I know, that's through that 6-pin is the only place where ground could be coming
You
in.
roam that out and and all your wires look good through that wire, right?
Well, so that 6-wire cable, it's basically daisy chaining through all the other boards, and all the other boards are communicating fine. They're all connected through that same set. Each board basically has 2 jacks on it, and that jack, it basically, goes to the board, but goes right back out to the next board through the adjacent cable.
Gotcha. Well, check the ground on that board. Right? You know what I'm saying? If you can't find it, if it's a weird ass problem, it's almost always a ground.
Okay. Well, I'll take a look at that. But I have burned up, like I say, 4 different boards. So I don't know. It's weird. It's always in that same location though, within the car.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah,
don't know anything about the system. I just know that's what I used to find some weird problems for. But
okay. Well, thanks for your suggestion. I'll take a look. Let's see if I can find anything weird going on with those connections.
ohm the thing out, and wiggle the boards around and shoot it with some cold spray and shoot it with a heat gun and see if any of their ohm resistances change on any of the connectors going that are isolated to that board only, that don't just daisy chain, right?
Yeah, well, the only things that go to that board only that aren't part of that daisy chain are the high voltage cells and the thermocouples. I mean the thermistors that are monitoring temperatures of the cells.
So when they daisy chain and pass through, how do they connect on? Do you have them all soldered at the pin where they come in, or do you have them? How do they daisy to the next one?
Yeah, the board comes with 2 RJ connectors, basically soldered onto the board, and
So that loops them back around then.
Yeah, I just plugged 2 cables in, and the cable
Okay.
just runs from one board to the next.
Yeah, then it's got to be in the cable. It wouldn't be in the board.
Yeah, but the weird thing is, how would it affect just the one board and not the adjacent board?
Yeah, that makes it sound like you got something bad at the other side. Some input feed. One of your input. It's got that's what 14 pins or something. One of those things must be doing something weird to you.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing is I've checked those pins on the high voltage side, and I can measure each cell, just fine.
Well, try them hot and cold. I mean, that's hit them with something. Bounce a piece of plastic off all your connections when you're looking at something and see if anything jiggles. If you hit them cold and hit them hot, that'll if you got a loose solder joint or bad connection or a wire that's doing something weird, it'll move it around on you.
Okay.
Try to recreate your problem.
Okay.
Those vibrators work too. If you got one of those things you used to etch metal with, little tip on it that vibrates. You just put a piece of plastic on the end of that and stick it on the boards and stick it on the area you want to vibrate, and it'll, if that's a bad circuit, it'll come up.
Okay. I don't have one of those, but
They're probably $25, $10 at any place.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just bang on it with something, right?
Right.
Or yank on the cable ends.
Yeah, I could try that. Although I'd hate to burn up a board trying to do just that.
Well, at least you burned it up and found out where it is.
Yeah, that's true.
If you got to sacrifice one to solve the problem, I hate intermittent. That's a bummer.
Yeah, well, actually, if it's the cable, well, the cables stayed the same all throughout switching the boards. That's all I can throw into it.
Yeah, I was debating about or basically getting a new high voltage connector. But yeah, that'd be kind of a hassle to try to redo that.
Well, shock tested, temper sensitive. I can't think of anything else.
All right, thanks.
Grounds, man. I'm telling you, ground.
All right. All right. Well, I guess if there's nothing else, I'm ready to sign off.
Yeah, I'm driving, so I can't see how many people are on.
Yeah, I'm despairing of anything else coming in from the church. It's just about sunset anyway.
Yeah, there's only I think 9 of us on right now.
Okay, Charlie, I'll see you Thursday, and I'm signing off. See you
Nice
later,
talking to
Gary.
everybody.
All right. See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Everyone. Yep.